This episode of The Havery Show is being brought to you by Heartland Tax and Accounting, 863-385-5020. The following program has been rated G and is suitable for all audiences. On this episode of The Havery Show, we have Sebring City Councilwoman Rebekah Kogelschatz.
Hello.
Nice to see you.
Thank you.
You just got off work.
I did, yes.
You work at Heartland Christian Academy.
Yes.
That's what it's called these days?
That is. That's the current name.
It's been a lot of things.
Yes. I've only worked there at Heartland Christian, but it was Highlands U Prep and then Heartland Christian School.
Yeah. It's
Sebring Christian.
Sebring Christian.
Yes.
Yeah, that goes back to the early 80s, late 70s. Yeah.
70s. And then it switched to Heartland Christian in 90.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. That's got a storied past.
Oh, yes.
Yes. And you're is it a principal, headmaster? What are you?
Head of school.
Head of school.
I don't like headmaster.
Uh-huh.
So just head of school.
What is that like over there? What does that entail? It's got to be a lot of putting out fires and whatnot.
It is. So principal job, just like any principal, you run the academics and the curriculum and all those things. But head of school, you're also business. So it's the finance, it's the paying the bills, it's all of that. So
you have all the hats.
Yes. Yeah.
You have to. You are the administrator of many things there.
Yes, because we are independent. So we're not connected to a church. We're not connected to any other governing organization.
Really?
So.
You are your own thing out there.
Yes, which is why it's struggled over the years.
Well, sure.
Just being independent and having costs associated with that. So.
You've been there a number of years as a school. Are you to the point yet where there's alumni who are coming back and kicking in some money?
No. So we've there hasn't been really good connections with the alumni. So that's on our strategic plan for coming up. But we really just haven't had that many that the graduates. First of all, graduating classes have been small.
Yes.
And then through the years, just no one's really tracked them. So it's one of our things that we're trying to work on right now.
Yeah, I'm sure there's people out there who are grateful for their education and probably just to slip their minds.
Yes.
That would like to slide you a couple mil.
Yes, and we are hoping to start a building project. So I'm hoping.
Really? What's the building project
all
about?
A new school. So a new location. So we're looking
a new location?
Yeah, possibly. The board's considering it right now. So we're looking for property and then building out that 5 to 10 years that we'll hopefully have a new location.
What is your ideal property size?
Right now we're looking around 20 acres.
20 acres. Yes. Do you have any place in mind? Are you looking at any place?
Place up near Arbuckle Creek, some Crutchfield Groves.
Oh, nice.
Might be a possibility. And then we just got shown a place out on Kenilworth near Moon Ranch. So another big old grove.
Wow.
So, and the kind of size we need and want to stay close to downtown.
Yes.
That's really what we have to look for is pretty much a grove.
Gotcha. Oh, I know that Crutchfield's liquidated a lot of their stuff. Is this a current Crutchfield grove that they held on to?
Yeah.
So it's one of the few left over.
Basket Lake over there by Basket Lake.
Yes.
I didn't know it was a lake, but there's some property over there that I believe is Crutchfield, but I could be wrong.
Wow. That's exciting stuff.
It is.
So you're in charge of the building program too, huh?
Yes. Yeah. So hopefully board helped it, but yes. So yeah.
Wow.
That's what you do.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that is very, very exciting. And you just put the other place up for sale and
yeah, and see what happens.
See what happens.
Yeah, it will be a bit, but we are maxed out on capacity in most classes, so we're just out of room.
That's a great problem to have.
Yes, and we've added 2 buildings in the last 6 years.
Yeah.
So we just don't have any more space.
Yeah.
So.
You can't even if you took over the warehouses or stuff like that, it still wouldn't be enough.
No, and we've talked about that, trying to buy out warehouses down the road and rehabbing them. But that storage unit right there next to us kind of puts a glitch in all that. So we're trying to.
Are they immovable?
Well, I think we would have to buy out the business, not just buy the property.
Yeah,
so
that would be expensive.
Yes.
Yeah, you're definitely. You're definitely landlocked there with the road in front of you, behind you, and to the side of you.
Yes. If I had just gotten the property before they built all those houses across the street.
Isn't that how it always is in hindsight? I remember Bible Fellowship Church. That's my church. And I remember when they, I wasn't there when they bought the property, but they bought 4 acres.
Yes.
And they could have bought literally as much as they wanted. And the board at the time said, I can't imagine we would ever need more than 4 acres. And there they are bursting at the seams on Wednesday nights with their kids' program.
Yes, yeah.
So yeah, hindsight, 2020.
And we do own the property across the back. We have like 4 or 5 acres back there.
Oh, you do?
It's still not really, we use it for PE, we use it for working. But still not really what we're not to expand the whole property. Okay. We would just still be piecing things together.
All right. Well, we're going to flash this on the screen. If somebody wants to make a donation to your cause, where do they call?
They can call me at Heartland Christian.
Can you give us a phone number?
863-385-3850.
Perfect.
Isn't that a great phone number? 385-3850.
It is.
Yeah.
You don't have to remember anything hardly. That's too bad the area code isn't 385
yes,
also.
Yeah.
How long have you been in Sebring?
Sebring, my family moved here in 1990.
Okay.
So, no, 91. Sorry, 91. We moved from the coast over here. So I graduated from Sebring High School, but only went there that 1 year.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So you don't know the trivia of what 385 used to be EV5.
Oh,
and EV stood for Evergreen.
Oh.
Now we're going back a long way. I
do remember I had to pay 25 cents to call Avon Park.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Yeah. It was a whole different world back then.
Yes. Long distance to Avon Park. Now we can call Mexico.
That's right. Yeah. And
cell phone.
And if you have pretty much a general plan, you can call anywhere and you don't get charged extra.
Yeah.
Back in the early days of the cell phones, you had international plans, you had regular plans, and you had roaming, and you had data, and you had all the stuff. It was so complicated.
Roaming in certain parts of Orlando, you were roaming, but in certain parts you weren't.
Exactly.
So, it was crazy.
So you come from the coast. Which coast?
Well, I've been all over Florida. So we moved here from West Palm Beach.
Gotcha.
Previously, I lived in Panama City, though.
So that's a nice area.
We lived up there until I was about 12, West Palm till I was 17, and then we moved to Sebring.
Moving around a lot sometimes means military family.
And we were not. We always just said my mom was gypsy.
Okay,
so she
fair enough.
Move.
Yeah.
But, we moved to South Florida because my mom got remarried. So we moved down there. And then we moved to Sebring because my dad's business was here. So I'd never been in Sebring. And they said, we're moving here. I was like, well, okay. As a senior in high school.
Oh, you moved in your senior year. That had to be excruciating.
Yeah, it was a challenge. And I West Palm Beach private school, Christian school to Sebring High School. That was a big difference.
How many years at the school in Palm Beach compared to Panama? So how much of your childhood was in Panama Beach compared to over there?
So I was 12, so I moved when I was in 7th grade to West Palm area. We lived a few different places there, but then over here when I was senior. So about 7th grade to 11th grade there, and then 12th grade here. So yeah. That had to be
so hard for you. All your friends were there. You were going to graduate. You had all your plans.
They were going to Europe too on their senior trip, and I missed it.
No.
But as my mother fondly likes to point out, that was the year I met my husband. So she said, if we hadn't moved to Sebring, where would I be now?
Yes.
So.
Speaking of your husband, Mr. Kogelschatz, that would be Rick.
Yes, Mr. K.
Mr. K.
In the famous world.
In the famous world, because how long would it take all those kids to learn how to say Kogelschatz?
Yes, they all call me Mrs. K as well.
Of course.
So.
Yeah, so you guys met at Sebring High School.
Well, he was not at Sebring High School. He's an Avon Park boy. But,
wait a minute. Yeah. No, you're blowing my mind right now.
Yes, he was actually at community college. He was at SFSC. And we were a blind date. And so we got set up about in March and been together March of 92. And that was the beginning of that story.
He was at the college. So where did he go to high school?
He went to Avon Park High.
He did.
Yeah,
you were trying to dodge that.
Yes, I know.
You were trying to skirt around the fact that he's a Red Devil.
Yeah, he is. But I was only a blue streak for 1 year, so it doesn't also align very well. But yes, I married that Avon Park boy.
Yeah. Was he a grenadier? Was he in the band? Did he wear the big hat?
He was not, but he was in student government or student council. He was like the class president or something that senior year.
Yeah, and you have a background in education?
Yes, yeah. Both of us went to UCF.
You went together?
Well, for part of it. After he got out of South Florida State College, which is his own story to tell on his many years there. Maybe you can get him on.
Yeah, that would be fantastic.
He went to UCF the year after I started. So I went to UCF right out of high school, and then he transferred the next year. He graduated and then did his master's degree. I finished my bachelor's, and then we moved back to Sebring.
Okay. Were you married while you were in school?
My senior year.
You were?
Yeah, my very last year. Yeah.
Are there a lot of married college kids, or were you one of the few?
Probably by the senior year more. And teachers, they just, seem to get married, it's in my opinion, back then. So I don't know. None of my friends were married, but, we decided that we would. I don't know why, but we had been together for 4 or 5 years by that point.
for
So,
sure.
yeah.
Bachelor's degree in education.
Yes, exceptional. We both did exceptional education. So, yes.
Yeah. What did ESE look like for you? Is that where you started your career
Yes.
too in ESE?
Yes. So I started with behavior. I got my degree in behavior disorders, which I loved. Worked in Seminole County for a year in behavior disorders, but then we moved to Sebring that next year, and I worked in Lake Placid. So I've worked in quite a few schools in town. But Lake Placid, we did. I did a K2 one year,
Okay, yeah.
and then I did a preschool 1 year. Never again. Moved up to Avon Park, Avon Elementary School. I didn't move. I have not lived in Avon Park. Lived in Lake
Listen,
Placid.
I love Avon
Yes,
Park. Don't get
but
me
I did
wrong.
not live there. But I did work at Avon Elementary and Avon Park Middle and Avon Park High. So I worked with all
Oh, you
three.
did the trifecta.
So yes, but gradually through the years, took some years off to have children. Went back into math, and then I did math my last part of public school. So I did math at Lake Placid Middle and then Avon Park High.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, your kids are growing.
Yes, yeah. So Garrett is 24. Just got his
Crazy.
first job out of college. He graduated in May from Florida Southern, and then Sophia's at Florida Southern, junior year swimmer, swimming. So we'll go see her this weekend. And then Jillian is 12, 7th grade at Heartland.
That's a pretty good split between kids.
She's our bonus baby, is what we call her.
I hope that college is giving you guys a volume discount.
Yes, yeah. And it's fortunate. Our church has a scholarship, so they
No kidding?
so they actually have scholarships there. So through an endowment fund through First Sebring. So,
I'll be darned. Well, that's a wonderful thing.
yeah, it's a blessing.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I'll tell you what, college gets expensive.
Yes,
You have all
we had
these
two
kids.
at the same time.
Yeah, that's
too.
right.
There was a 2-year overlap.
Do they still have Florida prepaid, or is that a thing anymore?
Yeah, it is. I've
Is
never
it?
done it. Yeah, I was too poor to
did that
put
for
money
ours. We were too, but somehow
in. Yeah.
it helped. It helped.
Yes.
Man.
This episode of The Havery Show is being brought to you by Heartland Tax and Accounting, 863-385-5020. If you would like to advertise or sponsor an episode of The Havery Show, call 863-381-6831.
What do you think is the greatest challenge that children are facing in 2025?
Social media. So
Well, you said that without hesitating.
it's always on my heart mostly. And today there was like a news story about Instagram limiting what under 13-year-olds can see. And you're just wondering how many under 13-year-olds are on Instagram.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
So, and Instagram is a little more settled than, a little more user friendly.
Yeah.
But yeah, we see it especially in the schools, social media, and whether it's what they're seeing, what they're viewing, and how they can communicate all the time, to each other and to other people. So it seems to be quite the challenge. And there was a stat this morning that test scores are lowering. The higher students, the more students are on social media, the lower their test scores are.
That is not at all surprising.
Because time and focus.
Sure. Okay. Do they use tablets, pads, Google Chrome? What do they use? Pencil and paper? How do they test?
And that's I didn't read the stat on that part, but our school, we have digital testing,
Okay.
which I think is a whole nother subject on how that's not very user friendly either. But yeah, that's what they're just saying, that scores are dropping. And you see the frustration of teachers, trying to get these scores up, especially public Florida schools it's high stakes, your testing counts. And then we have just that bombardment of they don't have time to do anything at home because they're stuck on their phones or whatever that may be. And then I feel like digital testing is just, they think it's a game. So some students that just don't care, that's just a click, 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 and you're done.
That's right.
Yeah.
How this is an ignorant question, admittedly, but how much time does an average student actually spend with a pen or pencil in their hands writing on something?
Probably not as much anymore. Our lower grades at Heartland are we have iPads, but they mostly do paper pencil. But when you get to the upper grades, it's just typing is more convenient. Research is right there. So they have devices and they're expected to use them. We do a lot of discussion as well. So we're not just sitting in class on our device.
Sure.
But there's very little that is, I believe, nowadays that they're even doing with paper pencil. And they're seeing things like with hand grips. Like they can't, their hands aren't strengthened. Even lower grades, kindergarten, first grade, because they get devices so early and they don't have the hand strength like they used to.
Yep. If there's anything to be, now I'm not an evolution guy from monkeys to here, but I am a macroevolution guy, and I think that our bodies can change based on our surroundings and whatnot. So, I mean, when you go from a tactile situation, mechanical things, that type of gross and fine motor, to this instead of this, and then to this.
Yes.
Something's bound to change over time.
Yes.
If it doesn't,
their thumbs are going to be really
change.
fat.
Really. I mean, I know it's silly sounding.
Yes.
But then at some point, the pendulum will swing the other way.
Yes. Well, now with voice to text,
that's right.
we're not even typing anymore.
Yes. And then when Neuralink comes along,
right.
Then basically we're looking at telepathy.
Yes. Yeah. You just don't know.
You just don't know.
I don't even know what schools are going to look like, in 10 years even, so they've evolved so much in the last 10 years. Yeah. Evolved whether good or bad.
And depending on how you want to look at it, with things like Neuralink, there would just be downloads.
Right. Yes.
Age appropriate downloads for their knowledge.
Yes. And hopefully you could track it at least where they can't, because, one thing about especially teenagers is they can get around anything.
Anything.
They're always smarter than the adults.
Yeah. I often wonder if I was a teenager today, because I had all kinds of workarounds at Sebring High School when I was there, and they were totally different.
Yes.
But it's just
at least your parents couldn't track you.
I know there's no privacy anymore at all.
Yes.
Which is good if you're a parent.
Right.
It's great if you're a parent.
Yeah.
Not so great if you're a teenager and you want to sneak out with your friends and get yourself into a little bit of trouble.
Right. They can see where you are.
Ooh, that's funny. You know what's funny? My son, Harrison, he can track me.
Yeah.
And he often does.
Yes.
And he makes a joke out of it.
Yeah.
I took a trip, a month ago, and I went on a road trip, and I just, was going to go to the Ocala National Forest and camp a little bit, and I was by myself, so I thought, I better have Harrison,
at least someone.
Yeah, and Dawn also has Harrison tracking her, and we thought, well, let's give each other a little bit of, we don't want to look like we're spying on each other, but we could spy on each other through our son and make him the middleman.
As long as I say when the Criminal Minds story's pop in your head and you're in Ocala, at least someone can find you and where your last notification was.
Exactly. I've heard stories about some weird things happening in those forests.
I can imagine. Yeah. And I'm not a camper, so I would not. You won't find me there.
I didn't go into any of the primitive areas. Yeah. I was but even the very populated area, I was one of 2, maybe 3 campsites in that whole place. It was deserted.
Well, that must have been a nice, quiet.
It was quiet, and it was nice to have little trails and stuff to yourself. And they have Juniper Springs was there, which was absolutely beautiful. Yeah. But that place was beat to death. It was run down, and the National Forest Service isn't funding it anymore. They have a private company doing it. And it's just not nice.
Right now, the federal government wouldn't be
shut down anyway. They're gonna give back pay though, aren't they?
Yes, but remember the last time when all the trash piled up in like Yosemite because people were still going in there and nobody was emptying the garbage. Yeah, I mean it's just like you're just waiting to see the result.
So they'll end up probably having to work overtime to get overtime pay where they could have just gotten paid to begin with. There's so much that I just scratch my head at when it comes to politics.
Yes.
Oh my word! There's crazy stuff going on out there, and I am. Politically, I'm Switzerland.
Yes.
my job as an entertainer is to unite people and bring them together. It's not to divide them along party lines.
Yes, very good.
So that's just I'm the old
all the
school
sides.
Elvis guy. Yeah. And I want to be that way as a person.
Yes.
I don't want to alienate half my friends because they have a letter behind their name.
And agree to disagree and listen to everybody's opinion.
Public discourse. Remember when that was a thing?
Yes.
Those were good days.
Without offense.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and if there was an offense, then we had the grace to just let it slide and not get all roused up over it.
Very much so.
Yeah, it's a different world though.
Yes, I know, every day.
Yeah, every day it gets a little crazier.
Yes.
Speaking of politics,
I figured,
what were you thinking when you...
I tell people now I'm doubting my life choices, but... But I do enjoy it. My dad was city council for 12 years. And so I knew I always hoped I would have the opportunity to be city council.
In Sebring?
Yeah, Scott Stanley.
Scott
So,
Stanley's
yeah.
you're
Yeah.
kidding.
Yes.
Okay.
So Scott, he's my stepdad, but he's my dad.
Yeah.
He's
Why didn't I put
raised
that
me.
together?
So most people don't because we have
Okay.
different last names.
Well,
Yes.
okay. There's that.
And I didn't have the same last name to start with. So, but he was city council for 12 years. And so I had hoped, as being in Sebring, that someday I would get the opportunity. I decided to go at the very last minute to apply, and nobody ran against me. So, I just kind of got in. So it was unexpected because I thought at least I'd have to put up a sign.
Right. And you
But,
didn't have to do any of that.
No. So I was fortunate. And actually my dad, 2 different terms, didn't have anyone run against him.
No
either. I think
kidding.
he only had actually run one term, maybe two, and only got in once. But yeah, so I love Sebring, and that's been it has been interesting to learn all the parts. So much more than I thought I was, what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bigger job, and applauding all those that have been before me and are on council with me. So yes.
It's what a thankless job.
Yeah, it can be, but so is education. So, I'm right there with you.
Well, that is true. It really, yeah. Those are you picked 2 doozies.
I know. I don't.
Why don't you, when you're done with this, why don't you become a minister?
Yeah.
And get into religion too.
More thanklessness.
Exactly. You may as well do it all.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow. This is a complete sidetrack. Trick or treating is on the 25th.
Yes, and I asked about that, and I think like 5 or 6 years ago, I actually did one of those change.org petitions to try to get Halloween on Halloween.
Yes.
And it didn't go anywhere. So I didn't even have that much support from my friends of changing Halloween to Halloween. But I asked Scott Natelick and Carl Hoagland, it's that years ago, and decided it was the Saturday before Halloween. And so it just so happened this year that it fell on a Friday, and no one really, I guess, focused on that until it was probably too late to rechange up things. But I am I grew up with Halloween on Halloween. So I never understood when I moved to Sebring why Halloween wasn't on Halloween.
I've lived here my whole life, and I still don't understand it. And, I have a son who's a councilman. I never asked him about it. Yeah. This is something that I feel like, okay, it's a school night, but it's also fairly early.
Yes.
There's, for the most part, the time change has happened. Mm-hmm. I think there's been a couple times maybe when it hasn't. I think
now it changes in November.
It does. Okay, used to change around Halloween weekend. Yes. Either way.
Right. The darkness.
Either way. I mean, it's one night a year.
Right.
And it's Halloween.
So the complaint was, what the story that I was told is that the first year Carl was in as police chief, he did put it on Halloween and got like terrible feedback. So he just switched it back to what it had been before. So if people are interested, then I think it really should be something that comes before the city, and we look at that. It's just a policy. There's no rule. There's nothing in set. It's just what Chief Hoagland has set forth. So, but yeah, this year with it being on Friday, you thought that would be a natural thing. I was kind of surprised when I heard it was the week before, but that didn't come before the city council. So that was nothing we had decided.
Right. What a referendum? I mean, what is it? Would it be silly to put it through that much scrutiny?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how the actual, what is in line that made it the Saturday. So I don't know if it's just police chief's discretion or if there is some policy that he gets to set that. Yeah. I'm not sure.
Yeah. And I don't have kids that trick or treat anymore, but I've got 2 grandkids that I would like to see go trick or treating, and
and it's just weird when it's so far away. Yeah. Like when the Halloween's close to the Saturday, it makes sense. But it's like I feel like our citizens don't even know when Halloween is because we think it's on a Saturday, like Thanksgiving is on a Thursday.
Right.
So I'm like, it just doesn't make sense because Lake Placid does do a Halloween on Halloween, and Lake Wales does. So there's a lot of areas. I'm not sure about Avon Park, but yeah, there are other places. And they say the teachers complain and the kids have to get up, but we do stuff like that all the time. So I'm like, the candy at school is the biggest part, but they come to school on the Monday with the candy anyway, so it doesn't make any difference.
Exactly. It's one day a year.
Yes.
One day a year.
So maybe that could change in the future. So we'll have to see. But it's you hear from half the people that want it Halloween, and then when you switch it, you'll hear from the other half that didn't want it on Halloween.
I think it's got to be on the next ballot. I think it has to be a referendum, and then there can be an end to this, an end to the discussion. The people have spoken.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'll mention that to Scott.
Yeah, you do that. You do
Yes.
that.
This episode of The Havery Show is being brought to you by Heartland Tax and Accounting, 863-385-5020. If you would like to advertise or sponsor an episode of The Havery Show, call 863-381-6831.
I'm waiting on Scott to accept my invitation to come on the show.
Oh.
So far, he's balking.
Yes.
He's running from me. He needs to get a new pair of running shoes because he's wearing those out.
Yes. Yeah.
I've had Josh on. He was on last week, and I've had Roland.
Oh, good.
Councilman Havery also seems to be ducking me. He doesn't seem to want to be on the show either for reasons I just can't even fathom.
Yeah. A little different knowledge of background knowledge.
A little bit.
Yes.
Leonard has agreed, but we haven't been able to get on the calendar. But I want everybody on that dais. I want everybody. Kathy, Bob, I want everybody. And then I would love to be able to get our first responder guys and all the department heads, and I would love to have them too at some point. Maybe I can do them in bulk.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Yes.
But yeah, I think it's important. I think it's important for our citizens, our family, our Sebring family, to know the people that are kind of running, sailing the ship.
Right. And that they're real people.
They're real people with
Yes.
real feelings, real emotions,
Despite what you
real
read on social
concerns, and this stuff.
Yes.
Somebody posted on social media today, and I don't know who it was. I didn't recommend the name, but they said something to the effect of, "You guys are literal buffoons for having trick or treat
Yeah.
a week
Right.
ahead of time,
Yes.
and the same night as Sebring High School for the homecoming."
Yes.
And well, I don't know. I don't know whose job it is on the city council to call Sebring High School to ask when homecoming is.
Exactly.
And I don't know
Yes.
whose job it is at Sebring High School to the athletic director. I don't know that Jason needs to call the city and say, "Hey, we need to coordinate." I don't know that
Well, homecoming dance could be in costume.
there you
mean, they
go.
could do it.
Yes. I feel like there's a way to work all this
Yes.
stuff out.
Yeah.
But my word.
Well, and I would think whoever was deciding really wouldn't think there's that many high schoolers that would, participate in trick-or-treating because they would probably be more participating on Halloween night and having a little get-together.
I would think so.
Yes, and they can still dress up on Halloween night.
That's right. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. But making sense doesn't always make sense.
Does not always make sense. It does not.
No.
You came in at a good time and a bad time. You dodged some things, and now you've picked up some things, and you know what? Those things will come and go.
Yes.
And life will move on. I'm just of the ilk that I want everybody wins situations, and that's what I strive for. That's what I hope for.
Yes.
And that's what I hope happens with Harder Hall and with the golf course and with all those things. I just like to find a way that everybody wins, and we can move past it and be okay with each other again.
Yes.
That's the hope.
But there's just so many people that have so many different opinions.
Oh, sure.
So and that's on a lot of issues. I mean, that's from zoning to to Harder Hall to whatever it may be. There's just always the people there's not enough people that speak out for both sides on any of these things. I think there's people that come with their agenda, and there's people that can gather people together, but then we don't always hear from the other side.
Right.
And so it's you think you're making a good choice, but during a meeting you may only hear one side. So it does make it difficult when you're sitting up there.
That's right.
And I've only been doing this 6 months, so
Yep.
maybe.
Yeah, you're coming into your stride though.
Oh, yes. I'm actually speaking. Mostly you can't get in a difference between a motion and a second because those two next to me catch them before I can even say anything.
That's true. Yeah, they're fast. They're quick on the draw for sure.
Yes.
What about you? What are your interests? What do you like? What do you enjoy?
I love the beach. So that's
When you
one
say
thing.
beach, you mean like the ocean?
Yeah, the ocean.
Okay.
Like East Coast is my
Okay.
thing. I'll do West Coast too, but
If you have
if
to.
I had to, if I had to move somewhere, I would move Fort Pierce, Vero Beach. I just love.
Oh, I
those
love
areas.
Vero Beach.
So, but when my family moved to Sebring, that kind of went. You just get to visit now. Love my family. We're the five of us. So my whole a lot of my family lives in Sebring. So I still have one sister that lives right near me. My brother lives in Sebring. My sister did just move to North Carolina, and that was very hard for all of us because she had lived here for so long. And then one sister lives in St. Pete with her husband. So, but our family's very close.
Yep.
I do love my job. I love working with kids, and I love what we have going at Heartland Christian. So it's been a passion that I've been able to work on and develop over the years. So that, because this is my 10th year there, so it's been a long time. And I am working on a dissertation, so I'm trying to get my PhD.
No kidding.
The end of,
Dr. K.
Yes, yeah, Dr. K. So hopefully in a year or so, I'll finish that up. So that takes up most of my time.
Oh, I'll bet.
But yeah, and I just, hang out at home when we aren't running around with our kids that don't live here.
How fun.
Yeah.
I think I didn't start counting at the right time, but did you just name off, you have 4 siblings or you're one of 4?
I have 4 siblings.
You have
I'm
4
one of 5.
siblings.
Yes. Yeah.
So where are you in the pecking
Second
order?
to the top. Yes.
Second to the top. Are you all in education? Did you all go
I'm
in
the
all
only
different
one.
directions?
So
Really?
yes, yeah. My 2 sisters, the littles. So
The littles?
Yeah, the littles. So the first 3 of us were my mom's first marriage, and the
Okay.
second were Scott's.
Yes.
Scott's, the biological dad, our dad. But so my brother works for my dad, who's trust company, and both my sisters actually work for him as well.
no
So
kidding.
the younger ones, and then my other older sister in North Carolina is not currently working. She just stays. She has the luxury of staying at home now.
Gotcha.
And so yeah, I'm the only educator.
Yeah. So you have these family get-togethers with cousins running around,
We do,
and
and
all
I
the-
think there's like if all of us are here, it's 23.
that's
Yes,
huge.
yeah.
So do you try to go to people's houses? Do you
Mostly
alternate?
My house.
Okay.
Yeah, my house, but
lucky
now also
you.
my sister Brianna's house. So she ended up with a bigger space now. But to have all of us in one space, it's kind of. And I don't know. Joan Fisher used to live in my house.
Yes.
And it has a 52-foot front room. So it's just one big bowling alley.
Yes.
So we can all set up tables. We can all fit in there. It works out perfectly. So
Very, very cool.
and my mother, of course, but my mom doesn't want to worry about cleaning up after us. So she
Yes.
kind of retired from family gatherings.
Yeah. Yeah, and your life has to be quieter and easier without having those crazy neighbors behind your fence that used to cause you all kinds of headaches with their
Only the
animals
ducks.
and whatnot.
Only when my dogs broke through a whole fence. I don't even know how my big, huge dogs made it into his backyard, but those poor ducks had no feathers by the time. But at least they were alive
That's
for the
right.
moment.
There you go.
But and that was a funny story. I had just had like surgery, and I had this neck thing. I wasn't supposed to pick anything up, and I was over there like manhandling my dogs, trying to keep them away from the ducks and the chickens. But my brother-in-law lived next door, so he popped over and grabbed one of my dogs. I mean, it was hilarious. I was like in my pajamas, in
my
his backyard.
Goodness. Wow.
Yes, but we do miss the kids in the back. They probably don't miss my dog jump. Every time they jumped on the trampoline, my dog would bark because my dog loves the trampoline. And they were like, we thought he just didn't like us. I'm like, no, he wants to get up there with you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, I'm sure the kids enjoyed the dog being excited about them.
he would just stand up and he was.
So fun.
Yes. Yeah.
You weren't on the council at the time, but I'm pretty sure there's an ordinance about having farm animals in the city.
You're allowed to have chickens.
Okay.
So, but we weren't going to complain. Our dogs just didn't like, our dogs actually enjoyed them. It was day-to-day entertainment. But yes, but you're allowed to have chickens.
Yeah. I grew up next door here. That's where, that's my family home. We had chickens and ducks. We had all that. And we had chickens and ducks over at Oak Avenue too for a little while too. The ducks got to be, they had a wading pool, a kiddie pool.
Yes.
When they got big enough, they discovered that the wading pool was okay, but the pool was the place to be.
Yes. Yeah.
So once they figured out the big pool, we had to find an alternate home. So we took them to that lake in Lakeland. I can't think of the name of it.
The
That has,
mirror.
it has just hundreds and hundreds of ducks.
Yeah.
So we released them out there.
Yes.
And very, very sadly, a raccoon took care of our chickens.
Oh,
we had a hen house for them,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
I hated that.
Yes.
Really, I liked those chickens.
Yeah.
They were.
I know
cool.
you get attached.
You do. And they
just
gave us
chickens.
eggs, and they were just fun to be with and play with and watch.
Yeah.
They would roost up in the tree right at eye level where we would sit and watch them, and it was just like they hung out with us.
Yeah. They're very friendly.
Yeah. You got any pets?
2 dogs. So yes. And,
Well, of course, the one that
2 dogs that one's a Labradoodle, one's a Pointer Doodle. So they're both kind of big dogs.
Pointer Doodle.
Yeah, he's a Pointer Poodle, a Pointer mixed with a Poodle. So Pointer English, it's the Pointer dog, whatever the hunt dogs are. They were both rescues.
Okay.
They both act like rescues, so naughty most of the time, but friendly. And Chip is the Labradoodle, and then Stanley, who is named after my dad.
Oh, nice. Nice.
He looked. It was a funny story, but anyway, he has this beard that reminded me of my dad, so I named him Stanley. And so they're great, but they are just always barking at something.
Oh yeah. Well, that's what dogs do.
Yes.
It does get old though.
Yes.
It does. Our dog barks
lizard.
like crazy.
Yes, we bark at a lizard that runs by. We bark at the squirrel. We bark at the cats in the neighborhood.
Oh yeah, yeah. It can get to be a lot after a while, but
especially at 5:30 in the morning.
especially at 5:30 in the morning.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you have going on back here in the back of your mind for? I mean, Heartland Christian forever.
No, the joke is always I say I'm here for 3 more years.
Okay.
So
you just keep saying that?
yeah, I just keep saying that. So I always say when God has a place for me to go, He brought me to Heartland Christian.
Right.
He will move me on when I'm ready, when He's ready. So I do feel like I'm there until I'm not. So and then of course we have a 12-year-old, so it's not like I can retire. And Rick is in for a few more years with public schools. So we're just here for a bit, and then we'll see what happens.
Few more years. You guys are young. You don't.
Teachers can be young though, so good teachers. You start teaching when you're like 22.
Well, that's true.
So he was a little older. I think he may have been 27. But yeah, you can retire fairly early as a teacher, if you're in public school, not private.
Right. Yes.
Not quite the same. But yeah, we are both just happy with what the jobs we have.
Yeah.
Eventually when I finish my degree, I can look at possibly consulting, research, those kind of things, but I'll still probably stay around for a while. So at least till Jillian graduates.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
That's cool.
Yes.
There's something to be said about being a teacher. And being in education and having kids, and especially when they go to the same school and you can haul them around everywhere with you. And well, that was a thing that Dawn enjoyed. She enjoyed having the kids at Fred Wild with her. That was my alma mater too. So I loved it.
Yes.
I loved it that my wife was teaching at my school and that my kids were in the same classrooms. Yeah. And Dawn, I think she taught in 2 or 3 classrooms that I went to as a kid. So it was neat going back.
Yes. Yeah. And Jillian's always been with me. So she started at kindergarten there. And actually, when she was 4 was when the Hurricane Irma came through and busy kids had to use our gym. And so she was there when she was 4 for part of that year. And then she came in. So she's been there since kindergarten.
Wow.
So. But Rick had the 2 older ones when he was at the KLC. So he had both of them for kindergarten. And then that was great because you didn't have that fear of sending your kid off to kindergarten when your husband is there. Of course.
Yeah, it had to be easy on the kids too, and easy on him too. Yes. That's pretty ideal. Yeah. Started at Woodlawn?
He started at Park. At Avon. He was at Avon, and then he went to Cracker Trail, and then he went to Park as assistant principal. Okay. And then he moved to Cracker Trail as assistant principal, and then became principal.
So he started his teaching career
at Avon.
At Avon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We were there together for 2 years, I think.
Well, that's really handy when everybody's together.
Yes. Well, we had no kids then. Okay. But yes, there's the 2 of us.
Yeah. Very nice.
Yeah.
And he's at Cracker Trail now.
Yes.
Yeah. That's a crazy school.
Crazy. Lots to do there.
Yeah, that's a crazy. My favorite time of year, of course, is Christmas.
Yes.
And I love all the schools.
Yes.
I don't have a favorite, and it's so cool how each one has a different vibe, a different feel. Yeah. I just love it so much. Yeah. It's cool. Yeah. Now I'm thinking about Christmas. I can't help it.
This episode of The Havery Show is being brought to you by Heartland Tax and Accounting, 863-385-5020. If you would like to advertise or sponsor an episode of The Havery Show, call 863-381-6831.
So do you think that your kids are going to follow in your footsteps, you and Rick? You think that they're going to get into education?
So they both have said they thought they would be teachers, but we really encourage them to get a different degree. Yeah. And then if they want to teach, to go teach. Okay. So Garrett was excellent when he worked in the school. He was a tutor for part of the day, and they both love knowledge and content, but we just encourage them to maybe find another path. And if teaching is the way to go, I feel like Jillian will probably end up being a teacher. So that's kind of, it looks like she really has that heart. But the other 2, we were just like, try something else. And then if you got to go to teaching, if you really want to go to teaching, you can do that with any degree now. It's not like when we had to go to school. So
knowing the difficulties that teachers face today, that teachers didn't face 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, you still feel pretty good sending sending her down that path?
No, but if it is what they want to do, we don't want to stifle that either.
Yeah.
So, and it's, you don't go into teaching for the money.
That's right.
But being in public, it was a lot different than what I am doing now.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't know how public school teachers do it each and every day.
I don't either.
And the regulations and the mandates and especially when working in special ed, that was, a whole different thing. And that has changed a lot in the 25 years since I started. But you just got to have the heart for it. So if you don't love what you're doing, then it's very hard to be a teacher. Yeah.
I think that across the board, education is one of the hardest professions, and it's a calling. We agree on that. It's a calling, but professions are calling that you could imagine being in, from being in the classroom to being a para to being facilities to being in administration to being at the county office. It seems like I don't know. Seems like everybody's on edge, and it seems like everybody's kind of grumpy.
Yeah, and it is, you just don't know what's going to happen day to day. So, if the politics of it is one thing, but, just families and children have changed, and having just the rearing of children has changed, so it just makes it harder to be in that classroom. So
holy moly, the rearing of children, the family dynamic today.
Yeah.
It's so different than it's ever been.
Yes.
Families are facing challenges that they couldn't have dreamed of.
Right. Well, even, I don't know about your parents, but my mother never called school. If my mother called school or showed up at school, we were in trouble. So something was going on.
Yeah, that's right.
But otherwise than that, she just let the teachers be.
Well,
We were what we were, unless there was some issue. But other than that, my mother, we just didn't expect her to show up at school and complain or question or anything. School was school, and teachers were in charge.
That's right. Period. The end.
Yes.
I don't remember. I don't remember my mom ever going to a teacher conference. Right. I don't know that they did them.
No, probably not. Now it's like you have to check the box. My school has teacher conferences this week. So, you want to encourage that parent involvement, but then you just, back then it was just not a thing. You got the report card.
Yeah.
Anything that needed to be written was written in that little box.
That's right. That's right.
Yes.
Yeah, it is totally a whole different world. I'm just flashing back on so many things now. The checking the box, corporal punishment.
Yes. Yeah.
When that got taken away, that changed everything.
Yes. Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken on this, if I'm correct, I think one of the main reasons that Highlands County school system took away corporal punishment was because of my dear friend Rodney Hollinger. Oh. There was a big blow up over something that had to do with that.
Yes.
And I don't know if the policies changed directly as a result of that.
I think it's still in policy. I just think no one does it.
Okay.
So, I haven't read the Code of Student Conduct, but I believe in most counties it's legal. It's just not that nobody chooses to do it anymore. Sure. And mostly, I worked for a principal years ago, and there was a DCF complaint after corporal punishment. So with a witness and everything. Yep. And so, there's other ways to do things. Yep. So, and there is other ways to do things.
There definitely there are. Yes. There's something to be said, though, about the threat of getting paddled.
Yes. Yeah.
I never got paddled by a principal.
No.
I remember once in high school, I had Russ Hughes as my drafting teacher, and for whatever reason, I don't know why, but I found myself curled up in the fetal position on one of his drafting desks, acting like an idiot and pretending to cry like a baby. And he told me to, knock it off. Mm-hmm. He came up and he lit me up.
Yes.
He lit me up. That was the only unofficial paddling I got. I deserved it.
I remember in kindergarten, the substitute came up and paddled me or spanked me for talking.
Yes.
So I was like, I remember that. And she was the substitute. Sure. She wasn't even my teacher.
Wow, that was gutsy.
Yes.
That was really
gutsy. The rest is when we had to stand with our arms straight out. You had to stand on the playground with your arms extended. I was like, who would think that was a good consequence?
Oh, my word. Yeah. I don't know if you remember Coach Downing or not, but Coach Downing, he was the PE coach, and there was a week when there was some sort of administrative conferences, and the the administration would leave, and he would go into the assistant principal role, and that meant that he was going to be doing the paddling. And you talk about discipline.
Yeah.
Dropping to nothing. Nobody wanted to get in trouble when Coach Downing was swinging the paddle.
I can understand.
There was, and you know, hey, it was a different day. It was a different era, a different year. So if you think about it for a second, the thought of standing a kid up with a witness and giving him that seems pretty barbaric.
Yeah.
And then you think about, the Catholic schools and the teachers coming around and just beating your knuckles.
No warning.
No warning at all.
Yeah.
And the yardsticks and all the other stuff that, so
things have changed.
Things have changed. They certainly have. My mom never wanted me to get the paddle, but I think there may have been a few times when it might have benefited me.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
If I'm being honest.
Yes.
Yeah.
This episode of The Havery Show is being brought to you by Heartland Tax and Accounting, 863-385-5020. If you would like to advertise or sponsor an episode of The Havery Show, call 863-381-6831.
Wow. What about you like the beach?
Yes.
Were you a surfer? Were you a swimmer? Were you a sunbather? Just the whole thing?
So growing up in Panama City, growing up at the beach, and then moving to West Palm Beach, we lived in Jupiter for a bit, so I could just walk to the beach. So it was just what I did, so I never surfed. My brother surfed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't surf, maybe some beach volleyball here or there, but mostly I was just good just sitting. And I'm still, if I get to the coast, my husband laughs because I'm like, just get my feet in the sand.
Yeah.
I don't even need to sit for that long. Just getting my feet in the sand.
What other interests do you like?
Oh, I don't do a lot because I'm just so busy with everything else. So, so I go to church. I serve at my church, different things there. Hang out with some friends. I have traveled a lot lately. So I've got a passport 2 years ago, and I think I've maybe gone to 10 or 12 countries in 2 years. So was supposed to be in Finland this next week.
Finland?
Yes.
Now that's not one you hear every day about people taking a trip.
It was an education conference,
and
looking at how Finnish does their education, and they had to bump me because I was the only one that signed up for October, so I'm going in May. But yeah, my friend Allison and I have done a few trips together. Started with a school trip because we took some kids to France and England, and then
wait a minute.
Yes, we did like one of the tour companies and.
What kids?
There. My students.
Your students.
Yeah, we had some students that went. So
France.
Yes. Yeah. We
what
did.
grade were they in?
I think I had as low as the 6th grade then. So 6th and up. So
you're nuts.
Yeah. It was great fun, but I couldn't have done it without Allison because she's actually from England, and had lived in France. So she was great. But the tour company was great. So all you had to do was really show up and they just took you.
How many did you take?
We had 8. We had 10 kids maybe, and 4 other adults besides the two of us.
Oh,
so
wow. That's a good ratio.
Yes. Yeah, some parents went and some homeschoolers went, so it wasn't just all Heartland Christian. But and the boys that we were responsible for the kids were all boys. So it was Allison and I and this group of boys, and so it was great. But they all wore a black jacket. So we're walking through Paris, and you would try to count and to make sure you had them all.
Yeah.
And we were laughing because they were all in black jackets, so they just kind of faded in. So we're gonna have to tag them next time.
That's right.
But yeah. So when I turned 50, which was 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, I've decided I wanted to go to 5 countries that year, and so I think I ended up with maybe 6 or 7. And then this last
wait, that year?
That year, yeah, I did this.
You went
in 2
to
years.
6
I've
or
only had a
7
passport for 2 years. So, and I've been to about 12 countries.
Wait a minute. No,
maybe
no,
12.
No.
So,
no.
Yeah, I took hold of that passport and I embraced it. So I do like to travel.
Well, you were going to just let that kind of slide right on by.
Yes.
You've had a passport for 2 years.
Yes.
You are the top dog at the Christian school. You are a wife and a mother, and you are a city council person. And you've been to 12 countries.
I think it's 12, but
in 2 years.
Yes. So one was a cruise, so that was 3. But yeah, we would, and once you get over in Europe, you might as well hit more than one.
Well, that's true.
So, but Rick and I started, my first one was to Spain, and that was part of that EF tours. I got to go because I had enough students sign up that I got a free trip to Spain. So I was like, well, never been there. Sure, why not? That was my first flight over the Atlantic. And then I turned 50. So I was like, Rick, we're going to go somewhere. So he was like, okay. So we picked Amsterdam And then when I was in Amsterdam, I was like, well, Paris is just a train ride away. So let's go ahead and hit that. So we only did like 2 days in Paris. And when we went to Amsterdam, his selling point was we saw Depeche Mode in Amsterdam. So that was quite fun for my birthday celebration. And then we did in London and Paris that year with the students. And then I went to Peru that summer on a mission trip.
Peru?
Yes. Yeah.
Where'd you go in Peru?
Cusco. So, yes, and we went to Machu Picchu.
Yeah.
But that was a mission trip, so I was able to go that summer there.
Mm-hmm.
And last spring break, my friend and I went to Denmark, Norway, and then we popped over to Sweden because,
you just popped over.
You just rode a bus and you were there. So we were only there for the day. So, and then this summer we did a family cruise. So we did like Belize, Honduras, Mexico. So that was, yes. And then Bahamas, of course. And we were up in Buffalo last year for a swim meet. So we walked over to Canada, just to Niagara Falls. So just to hit another country.
Wow.
So I've used my passport well. So
you were in Buffalo for a swim meet.
Yes, my Sophia swam for Indian River State College last year, and their nationals is in Buffalo.
Okay.
So we had to go to nationals up there to watch her swim, and we were there for like a week. So we just went over to Niagara Falls because I'd never been.
Did you go to Anchor Inn and get the original buffalo wings?
No, we never got any buffalo wings. We were so consumed with swim.
I'm sure.
Swim afternoon, swim after in the evening. But and then there's some sort of sandwich there. I can't even remember what it was called, but that we tried to find that too, but we weren't able to make it. So we did not get buffalo wings in Buffalo. And that was my first time in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So yes.
You saw the vast difference between the American side and the Canadian side.
I just watched a thing on Instagram about that, how bad the American side. We were just looked at the park.
Sure.
That wasn't a big deal. But
the park is well kept and beautiful.
It was.
But
Yes.
Yeah, the Canadians got us beat.
Yes. Well, it's all so touristy too when you just cross right over. And we were walking, so we didn't do much. But so we went over there. So Jillian was excited because they don't stamp your passport hardly anywhere anymore. And she asked the guy because this was her first time using her passport. So she was like, "Do you have a stamp?" And he was like, "Well." And then he whipped the stamp out and stamped it for her. So she got her passport stamped.
Did you go to the Hershey place?
No, that's never been on my list.
Wow. It was right there on the Canadian side.
Yes.
And you could just smell the chocolate. I mean, my goodness,
I
did you
don't
get
even
close
recall.
enough?
So we went into Hard Rock.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah.
Okay, at least you got to do that.
Yes.
The fall. Oh, did you ride the Maid of the Mist?
We did not.
Okay.
So no, it was.
You were busy with swim.
And it was March, and it was still really cold.
Oh,
it snowed.
that would be.
Yeah, we were up there in the snow.
Well, that changes everything.
I had to drive in snow, and I had never done that. So, and then I went to Norway, and it snowed more. I'm like, I'm a Florida beach girl.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have clothes for this.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah.
Driving in the snow.
Yeah. It wasn't super thick, but it was snowy.
It's a learning curve.
Yes.
No doubt about that. Yeah. It takes time. Well, we're going to wrap up, but I like to wrap up with a quirky question. So you can have breakfast or brunch on one beach, lunch on another beach, dinner at a third beach, and sunset on a fourth beach, anywhere in the world.
Oh, yes.
So where's your sunrise?
I have to do this all in one day?
Yep. And it's okay because there's no travel involved.
Okay.
You're teleporting.
Teleported.
It's teleporting.
France would be start.
Okay. Is there a particular beach in France?
No, I don't
just
know
anywhere?
Yeah.
Okay.
The south of France. I don't
South of France.
Yes. I always wanted to go to Thailand. Is Thailand on the beach or is it? Yeah. See, I'm not even good with all those Maldives or however you say it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I always wanted to travel to Hawaii.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't, even though it seems like if you live in Florida, why do you need to see other? But
it's
seem quite the
drastically
same.
different
Yes,
from everything I've been told. I've never been.
Yes.
But it's apples and oranges.
And then if I sunsetted, probably on St. Pete. So
St. Pete Beach.
I always wanted to do the sunrise on East Coast or
Yeah.
east and drive over to the west, so rising in the east and the west. Yeah. So you go
You
from,
could do that.
yes, there's like a little, like 1 day trip kind of
Sure.
thing. One tank trip. Remember that guy used to do those?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that
yeah.
was one of the ones that you do go across. But yeah, so France, one of those islands in the South Asia. So I'm not a geography person though. And actually, when we went to Amsterdam, I actually had to pull out the map and go, exactly where are we in Europe? Because I'm not, that's Rick's thing.
Yeah.
So that would probably be, those are the beaches I would probably go to.
How fun.
So I really don't need to be in the snow on a spring break again though. I have to go somewhere warm this year.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt.
Yes.
No doubt. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
for having
Thank
me.
you so much.
It's been fun.
It's been fun for me too.
Tell Harrison he can do it.
I'm going to do it.
And Scott.
And Scott. And you tell Rick, put a bug in his ear.
Oh, yes.
I would love to have him over here too.
You can talk racing the whole time.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll talk whatever.
Yes.
Yeah, that was great. But thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yeah, thank you. Yes.
Good seeing you.
Yeah, thanks.
If I don't see you, I'll see you Tuesday at the meeting.
Yeah, I know. You're a loyal supporter.
Hey, I love my city and I love my son way more.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'm proud of him.
Yes. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The Havery Show has been brought to you by Heartland Tax and Accounting, 863-385-5020.